Hello, everyone. We are here on a Thursday night. Welcome back, everyone. We are the Two Men in a Room show. Two men, we're in rooms. We're here to discuss some topics tonight. I am better known as the angriest man in Orlando, and my co host.
My name is Vernell. I'm also from Orlando. So, Anthony, um, we want to officially, pray for those that will be getting laid off at Walgreens Distribution Center. The doors were closed April 17th. And, I feel for those that get laid off at such a short notice. So prayers go out to those people that have to find another job. And we hope they seek bigger and better jobs, and hoping things that go well for each individual that work at Walgreens. Because it's not easy when you know that you're getting laid off. It's so much go through your brain. You scavenging, wondering, trying to figure things out. So hopefully everybody would be all right in that situation. So, Anthony, I know you got a list prepared for us tonight. So, what is going on tonight on Two Men in the Room?
Way to bring us back with some bad news. Holy cow. Holy cow. Stop everything. I'm going to bring us back with some good news. Happy Pie Day. Hopefully, everyone's got a nice slice of pizza pie or maybe cherry pie, Boston cream pie, a cream pie if you want that. Maybe
First of
that'll
all,
be later.
where's your pizza?
But
Where did you order that
oh,
pizza from?
I got it from Pizza Hut.
Oh,
I
okay.
like their pizza. They
Okay.
have some really good deals. They've got a buy one pizza now, get a free pizza later deal, similar to the other ones, but they do it very well where you pretty much get the coupon 24 hours after you order the pizza. Then you can get another pizza. So it's like a buy one, get one free deal.
No, I like
Really
Pizza
good.
Hut. I like Pizza Hut. I'm not a big fan of Domino's, so uh, I think it's Pizza Hut for me, and then Papa John's, and then Domino's. So okay, so we finally agreed on something, and that's Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I generally lean towards Pizza Hut. It's closer. Then I can go Papa John's or Domino's. Or as a local spot, Joe's Pizza. Joe's Pizza is pretty good. Um, if you're local to Orlando, try them out. All right, so that's a little brightness to bring to our show. We want to welcome everyone back. I know it's been a little while. Just a second. It's been a couple months since we've been on. We want to thank everyone for patiently waiting and welcome back. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and leave any comments you want about anything we do on the show tonight. All right. So let's get into some great topics tonight. We're going to start off first with the Boeing whistleblower. His name was John Barnett. He was a quality manager at the South Carolina plant. He started working with Boeing at the Washington plant, and he worked there for between both plants, about 30 years. He then retired and decided to get together with a few employees and go to the New York Times and subsequently blow the whistle on Boeing and the manufacturing that they were doing of the planes and the unsafe conditions that were going on. So, for a few years, he was putting out videos, putting out articles in newspapers. He just recently testified to Congress about what was going on. And the next day, they found him in his car with a self inflicted gunshot wound. So it's a little puzzling how you blow the whistle on Boeing and then wind up dead the next day. So can we say it was a merry suicide? Or can we say just a really weird consequence?
Child, don't try to get me involved in this one, honey, because I don't need to be the next victim. I mean, it is strange. So let everybody know what he told Congress about the Boeing as he worked there for 30
Um,
years?
a lot of it was the labor that was going on. Bolts weren't being used properly. Things were being attached in improper ways. This was a quality management position. So I imagine he was reading a lot of the blueprints, looking at the way the planes were built. There was definitely a noticeable lack of performance on a lot of the um, production of these planes, as we've seen in the last few days. Just recently, a flight from Perth, Australia, started leaking fuel for no reason. There was a plane that left San Francisco going to, I believe, Japan. The tire and wheel fell off immediately after it was taking off. The tire and wheel fell onto a car in an employee parking lot at San Francisco Airport. Pretty much destroyed the car. There were no injuries on that one. More famously, a flight from, I believe it was Seattle, um, as it was starting to take off, reached about, I believe, 10,000 feet. The door blew off. And there is actually a video out there of the passenger who was a row back before the emergency row, who was filming with no door there. You could see sky, you could see the ground below. It was quite a sight to see. And these were all Boeing planes. And if you've ever flown and paid attention to if you use kayak or you use some of these travel sites, they'll actually tell you which plane you're going to be flying in. So there are two main manufacturers. There's Boeing and there's Airbus, which is it's basically the difference between Ford and Mercedes-Benz. One's American, one's European. So a lot of people have now started requesting that they only fly on an Airbus plane rather than Boeing. So I don't know. It seems very, very odd that the man would suddenly see his demise after he already told most of his story. That he was up for one more day of testimony. Not sure what he was going to say in that last day. But if you're going to take somebody out, you usually take them out before they've said anything about what was going on. So the timing looks very suspicious, I'll say. I'm not sure if they Jeffrey Epsteined him or not, but it does look weird. And Boeing does look like they have a problem with at least the manufacturing, if not manufacturing and maintenance of these planes. So another question is, would you feel safe flying in the next year or so until you can hear something has been done about this?
Well, I personally think now that the individual, which is this deceased, um, put their business out there, I think Boeing is going to do a better job by doing what they need to do. If not, they're going to see sales declining due to the fact that he told his story, and I think when you playing with somebody's life or lives of that capacity, you got two, three, 400 people on the plane. Why take the cheaper route of building or fixing or whatever? When you 30,000 feet in the air, I'm already scared to fly anyways, but I will fly. In my flight time used to be 2.5 hours. Anything longer than that, I just have to really think about it. But people still going to fly Boeing because it is what it is. We just got to trust, pray about it, and just hoping that we have a safe travel. But I think Boeing do need to see a decline in ticket sales so they'll know, hey, you can't play with people's lives. And it's sad that this individual allegedly shot himself when he had one more day of testimony. It is odd,
Very
but
weird.
who are we to say? So maybe he got scared. Maybe he didn't want to do it anymore because he knew something may happen. I don't know. We're not there, so it's sad that this situation come up. And do I think Boeing need to pay for it? Of course, because you're playing with people's lives. There is no cheaper route or don't worry about that one boat when everything needs to be 100% accurate on a plane because you're playing with so many people's lives.
Mhm. It's funny. A couple days ago, I was starting to get a lot of notices from Southwest Airlines about their new $49 sale, which they
Okay,
haven't done in quite a while.
but wait,
And
I did that $49 sale because I was gonna go from here to Atlanta thinking
Mhm.
it was gonna be no more than $100. Child, it's not cute. The price still wasn't cute. And I was just going an hour away on a plane, to Atlanta, Georgia. So it didn't say nothing about no $49. I see it all the time on my YouTube, on my Facebook page. So I said,
Mhm.
okay, let me see what they're talking about. But by the time I did everything, my ticket I think was 212. It would have been like 212.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know what that be by. Maybe you need to schedule it for the week coming or month out or what. I don't know, but
Mhm.
I did it for next month actually, and it was like 200 and some dollars. So I don't know what that $49 got going on. So
So are you gonna fly?
I mean, you have no other choice, right? We just can't sit around saying, "Well, boy, I know there's a boat missing," and you just got to pray for safe travels and get on there and do what you need to do. Because if you really think about it, no Boeing actually what went down like the whole entire plane. There was no deaths. So you have to
Mhm.
look at it in a good way and a bad way. The bad
No.
way is the way they building things. They should put all components on the plane like they should. Especially those that in maintenance because they dealing with so many people's lives. But I just don't think it's gonna stop people from flying Boeing because it is what it is. We just got to pray about it and keep it moving.
Okay, so let me finish my thought. Southwest Airlines is exclusively Boeing airplanes. They deal with the 737 and they used to deal with the 737 MAX before one of those planes crashed in Africa. And they
Okay, and
actually
how when it
stopped
crashed? When it crashed?
about 2 years ago.
How many people died?
Quite a few. I don't have an exact number, but pretty much everybody on the plane died. And they
Okay,
actually had to stop production of that plane and found out there was some computer coding, I believe, that was messing up the instruments to tell the pilot that the plane was actually upside down, I believe was what was going on. So they were having to redo the whole computer system for some of those planes.
so you're not flying no more. That what you telling me?
Here's what I'm going to say. I would probably jump up to Delta or United because they have a much smaller percentage of Boeing planes that they are using. Yes, a lot of the recent Boeing stuff this week was from United, but they also use the Airbus A230, A330, and the bigger ones, they have their numbers to them. So I would probably specifically look for an Airbus plane to take the flight on. So I might just have to travel farther because I think a lot of the shorter routes are done with Boeings and the longer routes are done with Airbus. So I might just be flying to Europe then.
I ain't doing it. You ain't got to worry about it. That's too long over a plane to sit down. I ain't got time for that foolishness.
At least it's
Don't work.
safe.
No, no. I mean, just think about it. I think by this coming out, they just gonna fix the problem, make themselves look good, and it's gonna be fine.
Well, hopefully they can find a recall notice to put out for these planes to bring them in and get the parts fixed and changed
Okay,
out.
so
We
I
can
got a
go on
question for
from
you.
there.
Question
Yeah.
from you. So when Boeing come from the manufacturer, right?
Mhm.
They have maintenance at the airport, correct? They're supposed to
Yes.
thoroughly check everything, right or wrong.
Yes.
So
They
why
should
they not
be
held
periodically
accountable,
changing.
right?
I don't know what the type of check they're doing. They may just be checking the, mechanicals of the plane. Do the flaps on the wings work? Is, the rudder in the back working? Are the engines working? Are the wheels good? They may just be checking the basic stuff, and they may not check like, oh, is the inside of the door sealed correctly? They may just pull the door in, say it's sealed. That's it. What they may not realize is it's missing a couple bolts and a couple other bolts are loosening on the inside. You know, a lot of times you bring your car in for an oil change, they're just going to change the oil. They'll look at your engine. They may not look at anything else on the car, and you may have something else falling apart on the car. So, depending on how many mechanics they have working at the time, it may be a quick check over, or it may be something more detailed if the plane was older. From what I'm seeing, a lot of the planes this is happening to are fairly recently delivered planes. So it may be just they hired some people from temp services the last couple of years, and
Child,
the
them people,
production was just absolute
them,
crap.
them people did not hire
Okay.
nobody from temp service to create they
And they
to
just
help
couldn't
build
find
their planes.
workers. They found Joe off the street and brought him in, and he didn't get the job done correctly. So
Well, we shall see.
we shall see.
I'm hoping that Boeing get their act together
Right.
and consider that everybody lives matter,
Yeah.
and everything need to be safe and sound, because everybody pay a pretty penny to fly. So just think about more than themselves. That's up there. So we
Yes.
shall see about Boeing. I'm not gonna be scared. I'm just gonna pray and get on there and sit on down and keep it moving. That's it.
Use good quality parts. Double check assemblies.
Right. Because
Just make sure
they ain't
everything's
gonna do
running.
the but upcharge us anyway when they have to do it. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
You
They'll
know.
charge an extra $10 for a flight. So to confiscate for what they have to pay for better parts and all that. But I think all planes should use the best parts anyways, because we too high up in the air to be having issues with anything that go on a plane. So
Well, yeah. Perhaps you should write a letter to their CEO about
oh,
that.
no. I ain't getting involved in Boeing because I ain't got time to be called to the stand. No, ma'am.
Yes,
No.
that would be awesome. So, let's segue into our next topic. Like you said, you'd like to see the prices go up if it's worth the value, if they're going to use the better parts. But one thing we're seeing is prices going up and not getting enough. There was actually a tweet by Cookie Monster from Sesame Street on X, saying that there was cookie shrinkflation going on and his cookies were getting smaller and he wasn't quite sure why this was happening. About a month ago, Elmo also tweeted, "How is your day going?" And some of those responses are some of the best responses you'll ever see. There were some very truthful people out there that told Elmo how their day was going. So I did want to bring out the whiteboard and show the latest numbers for inflation for February. Inflation went up 3.2% for February, and wholesale inflation was up 0.6% for February. So, what that breaks down to is prices are going up about 3.2% higher than they were a year ago. And for the makers of stuff, people who are building stuff, people who are putting things together, like Boeing, the cost of their parts is now up 0.6% from a year over a year. The expectations that a lot of economists were saying were only going to be 0.3% for wholesale inflation and somewhere around 2.8 to 3% in inflation. So these numbers were a little bit higher than everyone was expecting, which basically means inflation is here and it's still going up and you're still paying high prices for it. So, how does that make you feel, Verno?
Well, you know me. If I want it, I'm gonna buy it. But okay,
Okay.
I think that we have been cheated on certain products when it comes to certain brands,
Mhm.
like our Frosted Flakes ain't so frosty. Our Fruity
Okay.
Pebbles ain't so fruity. You
Okay.
can taste the taste in it versus back
Mhm.
way back when. Now when you buy a bag of chips, Lay's or whatever, it's the bag this big, but the chips is way down here. So the other half of the bag is just air. So they're not getting us our money worth anymore. And I do understand. I just feel like keep the quality there. You just have to charge a little more because you're charging us anyway.
Well, the prices are going up.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Quality
they're
doesn't
not. But
seem to be coming in.
the quality is still losing quality.
Mm.
So in order for us to send a message across to the makers, we just stop buying it for 2 or 3 days, and it'll hurt their pocket. You know, even
Yes.
a day would hurt their pocket to let so we could send a message across to, hey, no, we noticed the Frosted Flakes ain't frosty like it used to. The Fruity Pebbles ain't so fruity. Now I don't know about Oreo because Oreo still giving me life. So, I love my
Mm.
Oreo cookies. It's still giving me life. I don't know about Oreo, so I can't throw Oreo in there. They still look the same size to me, so I don't know.
Have you ever tried the Hydrox?
What is that?
It was the Oreo before the Oreo.
No, I don't. I ain't
Oh
never.
yeah. You gotta check it out. It's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's
The
called what?
Oreo Hydrox.
Okay.
Hydrox cookies. Yeah.
No, I love my Oreo. I think that's the best cookie out there to me. It's the Oreo. I know a lot of people love chocolate chip. Now, I must say, chocolate chip ain't so chocolatey. It don't give me,
Not as many chocolate
and
chips.
it's not that many chocolate chips in it like it used to be now. And then they went to that little red bag when it used to be blue, and they got that red bag. The taste not there no more. So I don't know. I don't know. So I do like Keeblers. Keeblers, I think they still in the making. I still like
Their
Keeblers.
prices are a little lower with Keebler. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the quality is still there. So I don't know. I just feel like people need to, do research. Um, do you really need to buy it before you buy it? Because a lot of, even with high-end designers, like with handbags, Louis or Gucci, those my two favorite brands. But I still do research what the shoe is made out of, what the bag is made out of. You research it so you could get a good quality bag or a shoe or slide, slipper, whatever you want to purchase. So that's what I do. If I'm gonna spend $300-400 on some shoes, I need it to be made out of calfskin leather. Because
Mm.
that's a great leather, and that shoe gonna last you a very long time. So I don't know. So what you think about inflation? How much
If
longer we got to deal with it?
I think it's going to be here a bit longer. I don't think the interest rate decreases are going to happen anytime soon. I'd put out a tweet about a month ago that said the earliest you would see it would probably be September. So if you were hoping your credit cards were going to go down or the house payments were going to go down, it wasn't going to go down. Since these values are a bit higher than most people were expecting and most economists were expecting, I think you're just going to have to suffer a little more. But we have noticed some bright spots. If you've been shopping for a new car, prices are coming down on new cars right now. The demand for new cars is drastically down from where it was a few years ago. So the automakers were able to build a lot more vehicles now. There's no more chip shortage, and they're getting the vehicles to lots. Some of these lots are overfilled. I saw a quick, a reel on Facebook of they were parking F-150s at the Michigan International Speedway because they had nowhere else to put these trucks because nobody wanted to buy a $70,000 to $90,000 truck with a $1,200 payment. So if you're able to stop buying the certain product, the demand does go down, and then suppliers are just left with a ton of stock, and the only way to get rid of it is to lower prices. So if you were able to coordinate something, kind of like the Reddit coordination with stocks a couple years ago, where they pushed the stock up because so many people were buying it. If you could have so many people stop buying something, like you say, even for a couple days or a week, it's gonna make a small dent to where CEOs and executives would get a little scared and say, maybe there's not as much demand for the product I have. Maybe I have to lower the price on it. So if you could get people to coordinate this kind of stuff, you could put some dents in some stuff. It's tough to do with gas because so many people drive gas cars. It's tough to do with food because so many people just have to eat. But you could kind of maneuver the buying power to certain items, like take the cookies, for example. You see Chips Ahoy, you see Oreo, basically same company. They're putting their cookies up at 4.25. Keebler's coming in, putting their cookies at $3.69 a pack. If you could coordinate everybody to move down to Keebler, build business for Keebler, Chips Ahoy and Oreo, they're going to have to lower their prices to compete with them. So then you'd see a cheaper bag of cookies for your Oreos. So it's kind of the supply and demand game with this stuff right now. Housing is kind of going that way now. We're going to get into the spring summer sales event where everybody wants to lift their homes, move into something different. So if we get a lot of homes on the market this spring and summer, and there's the demand is still as low as it is, you might see some price drops in some places. Just the supply and demand issue. If we can get the supply back up with a lot of new homes and people selling homes, prices will go down on this stuff. So that's the basics of economics right there.
Well, we will see if you say September.
I think the earliest could be September, but if we see the next few months with um above what they're expecting numbers, then they may push it back to the beginning of next year. We may not see any interest rate cut this year. They're really pushing to get the inflation, which was 3.2%, down to 2.0% or 2.1. They could let that get away with, but that's their target. So until they get it to there, I don't think they're going to want to do anything that could be shaky. For people who are old enough, if you remember in the late 70s, early 80s, we were in an inflation run, and then the inflation kind of hit stagflation and then started going down. So the Federal Reserve said, oh, okay, we solved the problem. Let's start lowering interest rates so people can borrow money again. And then the inflation shot right back up even higher. So you went from having 6% interest rates to then having 10% interest rates to having 13% interest rates at one time. And it never came back down till about the 2000s or so, because I was working in a bank in 2001. I remember one of the tellers talking about getting a home refinancing loan, and she said that 9% interest was the best rate she had ever got. Home rates right now are at 7%. So imagine 9% being the best thing you ever saw. 7% would be even greater. So we're not that high to the highest we've ever been, but we're high for people who have only been shopping for homes in the last 20 years or so. So it could shoot up if we don't keep a lid on everything right now, and I think that's what they're trying to do right now, is to just make sure they control it so it doesn't get out of control.
Well, people better stop using them credit cards and have a low balance on those credit cards.
Oh, definitely. It's at an all new high. 1.4 trillion, I believe, is just hit.
My
for
credit card
personal credit
balance
card debt.
mine is very low. I don't play that foolishness. I ain't finna put all that on my
Right.
credit card just by me logging in the app and seeing a big balance of run me crazy. So people keep them credit card balances low so you won't pay that much interest. Pay it off if you have to, and every month just put a little something on there, buy a little something this month, pay it off. Try not to get in debt with credit cards. I know some people have no other choice but to use credit cards when unforeseen things happen. But
Mhm.
just do your best with utilizing your credit card.
Right.
Now you almost taught me into go buy me a car, a new truck this weekend. I don't know with everything going down because my grandbaby told me I need a. She said, "Papa, you need a truck. You need a bigger car." So I don't know now. I'm thinking
Went
about
a
that
little
thing.
bigger.
Yeah, a
There,
little
there,
bigger.
there's some good deals out there. Shop around for financing. Check with a local credit union. Check with online banks. Don't just take whatever the dealership gives you. Um, but there are some good deals on some new vehicles. Used vehicles are still a little high because everybody's got tax money. Everybody was trying to go get that $5,000 car just so they can have it repoed in 2 months because they didn't make a payment. But those the lower end stuff's still a little high right now. I would probably say wait till about May for that stuff. Then it's going to come down a little. You can get something decently priced. But the new stuff, there's a lot of deals on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram
Oh,
vehicles. There's a
child, I
lot of
hate
deals
that.
on Ford vehicles. Chevy's trying to really ramp up their tracks for $20,000. So some good deals out there.
Child, the first two, I hate those brands.
Oh, apparently everybody does because they're not selling anything. That's why they got to
Yeah,
give such great
Chrysler,
deals right
Ford,
now.
let it go. Especially Chrysler. I can't stand that brand. But
That's
to each his own. Let me just throw that out there. To each his own.
the
So
funny thing is, can you name? What would you say? A Chrysler? You don't
yeah.
like? Name
Mm.
a Chrysler vehicle that's still for sale right now.
I mean, I don't pay attention to no Fords, no Chryslers, nothing. No Jeep. Although Jeeps are pretty
Anybody in the
cool.
comments? Name a Chrysler vehicle that's still for sale right now. Because I can tell you right now, the 300 is dead. That's no longer for sale. I think the only vehicle they have for sale right now is the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, which is basically like a minivan. I'm
Foolishness.
pretty sure that's their only vehicle right now.
Foolishness.
So, well, that'll segue into our next topic, something else that isn't selling on our board, dating apps. So, dating apps lost 30% of their memberships last year alone. So,
Okay, dating apps as a whole or
dating apps
uh
as a whole,
specific,
but
okay.
we do know the Match company owns not just Match, but OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. What's the other big ones? They own quite a few of them. Their main competitor is Bumble. I believe they also own eHarmony. Match, I think, just bought eHarmony. A lot of the like specialty ones, farmers dating, fishermen dating, and all those little ones, Match also owns. If you want, just go onto one of the dating websites. Don't do it through the app. Do the actual website and just scroll all the way to the bottom and see who owns it. And if it's Match or Match LLC or anything like that, that is Match Company. They own a lot of the big ones. They started buying them up around 2017, 2018, and thought that this was the future of dating. They hit it big when, COVID hit and everything kind of shut down 4 years ago. Everybody was doing online dating. I believe they actually own Tinder also. Um, So everybody was jumping to those and seemed like a really good idea until the scammers jumped on as well. You saw a lot of fake profiles. You saw a lot of profiles where people were just wanting to get to know you, and then after a few days would start selling you on to something. Hey, I heard a great stock tip. Hey, I've got a great, vacation ownership program I'm in. Would you like to try it also? Hey, would you like to come with me and start joining this group that's going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin? Hey, we're, doing this real estate venture. Would you like to join? So a lot of scams went through, a lot of these upsells, a lot of the fake people. All you gotta do is type in Dr. Phil's show. I was scammed by a lover. There's about 20 of those he did over the years of people who thought that even like celebrities, people thought like, Russell Crowe was gonna come and marry them. People thought Brad Pitt was gonna date them. I'm waiting for, whoever the main star was at the time. So a lot of that happened. And I started seeing it about a year ago where people started getting off of it. And I started attending some social events and talking to people. And a lot of people were saying that they were just tired of it and that it wasn't going anywhere with anybody. And they were trying to get back to physical dating. And then about, what was it, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I saw an actual news station, Fox 35 News here in Orlando, do a full story on their 6 o'clock news about dating apps getting destroyed and companies started from people doing like expeditions, going traveling, doing fun events where you could physically come, single people only, physically come and meet other singles and do fun events. They had dog walking, they had going out on a boat and going to a place called Beer Can Island and having a party there. They were doing ski getaways, they were doing single cruises, they were doing, darts night at in billiard places. They were doing speed dating, all a bunch of stuff that was starting to just have people meet people in real life. So, do you think the trend of person to person meeting will keep going, or do you think people will get sick of it and go back to the apps?
Child, they need to just let the apps go. Just let it go. Just let it go. I personally think that it's better when you see somebody face to face because I'm good at judging people when I'm talking to them, you know, paying attention to their posture, their demeanor, because I pay attention to everything, I like face to face, because I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm going to get if I pursue it. All that, catfishing on these dating apps. I don't do the dating apps. I don't care about all that. You might well go to a club, go to the gym, and just flirt there, versus the dating apps. Because I know in Atlanta, um, the dating apps, um, Jack and Tinder or whatever, they target certain individuals just to rob them or set them up and all that. So I'm not a dating app individual. I can't stand dating apps. So
Hmm.
I just think it's better to meet that individual in person. I mean, it's cool to go somewhere where it's just for single people and you get to have these different activities. I think that's real cute, and hoping somebody wink their eye at you, you know,
Mhm.
get your attention. But I'm not a dating app individual, I don't care about the Christian mingle and eHarmony, and I ain't got time for all that foolishness because people still play games no matter what. I mean, I know there's a way to meet people because you put in what you're supposed to put in, what you like, what you dislike. You tell them about yourself. You have all this stuff on this app, and it's just too much. It's just too much. I like face to face. I ain't
Mhm.
got time for the app. I ain't finna meet nobody that's waiting in California. Tell me I got to fly there, and Boeing already ain't acting right. and I ain't got time for all that. No, no. Let's keep this thing moving face to face. So you're always supposed to meet in a lighted area, safe places
Mhm.
to if you're going to meet individuals. So keep that in mind. And just always remember everything look good ain't good. When it comes to these dating apps. So because people always have an intention on doing something. I'm not saying all, but some. You just have to be very careful. I'm just not a dating app individual. What about you? You like the dating apps?
I think they took a serious demise when they started charging for everything. They started just nickeling, diming. You couldn't even get a message without paying the monthly subscription service.
Oh wow.
And when you pay the fee and you read the message, and it just turned out it was some bogus message from somebody that you didn't even really like, I think people got really aggravated with that. And that's when they started kind of flipping out to the public, personal meet and greets, speed dating, all that stuff. I think this will work, which is why last year I said this was a great business model that if you could, if you were a people person and like to speak to people, you could get a lot of people together, go buy a little space in a bar or a restaurant or something and have these personal meets together. It wasn't very hard to do and it would be a good business model. And I see the growth is still growing in there. The only issue I would say with that is as long as the prices of the products at the places you're going to are not too out of crazy, like you don't want to go somewhere where they're serving, $20 drinks and they don't have anything cheap for people. People are going to want to go, they're going to want to just, spend a little bit of money, see if it's good meeting anyone. If it's not, they're gonna feel bad if they had to pay, oh, well, we had to buy this to get in. Like if say you're, going to an axe throwing thing. We're gonna have everybody meet the axe throwing thing. Okay, as long as it's not like 25 bucks to get in, okay, it's not bad. If it's like $50 to get in to do axe throwing, and I don't even know if I'm gonna meet anyone, I don't even know if I'm gonna like doing this, that's when I think you'll see people slowly go back to the apps. But I think if as long as you're not spending a lot to do it, I think a lot of people will start to get back into this and start to talk and learn their social skills again. And it'll actually be probably a lot more fun than just sitting there swiping for an hour to find maybe one person.
And then hoping you wake up with a message or something the next morning. If somebody
Right.
hit you up or whatever, yeah, child. Anybody got time for all that foolery? That's
Or
just
a
too
week
much.
later,
Right, right. I mean,
they
now
were
the axe throwing,
busy.
I always wanted to go do that. So I got to look into that because I want to throw an axe and hope I,
Oh, okay.
hit
There's a
hit the
great one
bullseye.
downtown. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's one off of it's one by Lake Eola.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
because
think that's the one I'm thinking of.
yeah. So I
Okay.
want to try that. I hope I don't hurt myself because I don't know how to throw axe the first, but
Mhm.
I learn.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see in what 5 6 months, what this gonna turn out to be, because right now life is just scary when it comes to dating apps. Um,
Spending
um,
too much money on
yeah,
stuff.
spending too much money, inflation. So
Now you
you
can't
have to be.
fly.
Yeah, now you can't fly. Cause boy want to act up, but boy, I did not start the story, so don't try to come after me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just the messenger. Anthony, he right there. He researched y'all. Uh, that's on him. I'll just put my
That's right.
little 2 cent in. You know, I'm still gonna fly. Pray about it. Hope God just let us make it there safe. That's it. That's all. But it is what it is. So you know.
Right. I mean, I'll
So
be the one to stand up and fight for the rights of the people.
of
So
course,
Boeing, yes, get your act together.
of course.
People, stop buying expensive stuff so we get the inflation down and go have a $3 beer on $3 beer night and maybe you'll meet someone. There you go. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do a lot of fun stuff. And sorry for the folks at Walgreens warehouse. if you do have a few bucks left, go get an Applebee's meal. They're really good. That'll make you feel a little better.
I mean, what if they don't like Applebee's?
Okay, go to Chili's, or they closed the Macaroni Grill near me, so that's out of the question now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, but go have one last meal and then hunker down with mac and cheese and tuna fish. When you're
Tuna
poor, you got
fish.
to eat what you got to eat.
I mean,
It's
you
what
got
it
to make
is.
do, but that
You know,
combo is not cute. That combo is not
well,
cute.
whatever you want to try.
Right, right.
Right.
It is what it is. All right. We had some interesting topics for tonight. boy, please get it together because it's too many lives in your hand. It's at stake. So get it together, put all bolts and nuts together. Make sure everything is done by machine, not by man-made. Screwing a bolt on, they talking about they wrist tie, so they ain't gonna screw it no more. Anybody got time for all that? No, 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 no. Use a drill or saw something, do something. You know,
Right.
up the ante, up the ante if you want people to fly blowing. Now that you say that, I'm gonna be looking to see what I'm gonna be flying because I ain't got time for the foolishness.
Start
So
tapping on stuff and just
yeah.
walk
Just
around
go.
tapping on stuff. I'm sure they'll be fine with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. It's
Okay.
gonna be all right. All right, nice show tonight, Anthony.
Right.
Thanks for the great topics. We appreciate you. With your research when it comes to percentages, finance, and all that good stuff. We're always here to um, give you encouragements, to give you
Entertainment,
yes, all that good
education,
stuff.
all that good stuff.
Especially education, because education is key to our future. Let's work together to make things better. Let's get the little ones up to par because they are future leaders. When we get in our 70s, 80s, and 90s, we need them. We need to depend on them. So hey, let's make everything count in life.
Yes.
All
It's been a
right.
wonderful show. I want to thank
Yes.
everyone for tuning in. We got quite a few people watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. We were on a little hiatus. We needed a little relaxation, a little vacation. So we're back. We're gonna be back on Thursdays at 8. So just 8-ish. Tune in around that time. And if you're on YouTube and subscribe to us, if you're on Rumble and you follow us, you'll get that notification that'll ring you in. It might start like a minute after the show, but you can jump into the show, throw your comments out, let us know what you think about everything. And we're going to have a great time. It's another year, it's a new season. It's going to be a lot of fun, exciting stuff coming.
Yes, I agree. Thanks to each and every one. Me and Anthony greatly appreciate you. And we will have to say good night. Enjoy your weekend. Make it fun and festive. Live a little. Live off the grid a little. Just make life what it is.
Right. And we will see everyone next week. Same time, same
Same
channel.
play. Yes. Good
Yes.
night. And we love you for free.
Good night.